Lower the numbers, the easier it is to count.
I think you'd work in New Zealand with that attitude.
Welcome back to the
That's why I'm wearing flip-flops, so I can count to 10.
It's game time here in this Bull City clash. Game 8 of the day. And the white with the black shorts.
A bit of a huddle focus before the overseas old boys team take the pitch.
With black shorts. The A-Trade overseas old boys.
So the A-Trade overseas old boys are seed 6 for this, and King's College is seed 10 in this competition. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to use this to make the impact for the tournament and show how they're going to plan to play the 2 days here.
Yeah, it's a good high kickoff.
It just bouncing in
the field of play, so it's a line out to the King's College Old Boys. Surprising that Luke Messerowa didn't attack that ball in the air. It was up there for a while.
Do you think the overseas old boys have got a plan to try and blind them with the brightness of the jersey as well as the sun?
Well, we certainly won't lose sight of them if it gets a little darker, but not that that'll happen for a while.
Very safe for cycling.
And nudged through by the King's College old boys deep into the 22. Good chase up the middle from King's College, putting a lot of pressure on the lone defender.
You see some of the bigger boys there.
Overseas old boys slow to get back, but they're back there now. They've retrieved the ball. Unlucky there. I think the King's College player may have knocked that down on the tackle, so unfortunate for overseas old boys to lose the feed to the scrum. Certainly we're seeing more urgency from the King's College boys in this stage of the game.
One word: youth. That's the difference. These boys can run and just never get tired.
As we all know, at 7s and 10s, the team without the ball does all the running. So it's possession is critical in this game.
I think that's what surprised the crowds last year with the King's College boys, with just their physicality and their fitness. They were just non-stop running, both on and off the ball, looking to create space, and not afraid to chuck it around and pass it, or even go straight up the middle.
Great strength there, and Jock Campbell showing the ability to stay on his feet well and driving close to the line. And
very quick
score. I think the try looks as though it's being scored by Scott Gale, and forcing the ball against the base of the upright, and as long as it's touching the grass, albeit plastic in this case, against the base, it's a try.
There's a great fend off there in the first tackle, kept his legs pumping, didn't stop, pushed on, go to the line, and again King's College boys around, support straight away, looking to recycle quickly.
Yeah, I think the high school low boys will be disappointed that one-on-one tackling there. They let him make far too much ground there.
You always find the 10s game quite interesting, because we say on the 15s that, you know, take the player low, pull them down, but in this game you've got no option to take them high and stop them offloading the ball.
Yeah, and I guess that's all situational. You've got to look at what's in front of you. If there's support players around, and that's a very deep kick. It's a fantastic effort by King's College. They're putting the ball out just yards short of the corner, so they'll be putting pressure on the overseas old boys line out 5 metres from their own goal line. Nice take, moving it wide, and nervous hands there. Okay, a foot in over the dead ball line, so touch and goal means there's a 5 metre scrum to the King's College old boys, and no relent from the pressure from that line out.
The line speed then was pretty impressive, straight up in their faces, giving them no option. As you said, you saw the nervous hands there and created a mistake.
Yeah, and and you're that deep in your own goal area, it's hard to even get a kick away and clear the pressure. So looking at interesting formation from the King's College here. They're stretching the defenders very wide. There's both sides of the scrum. They've got two players and both of them very, very wide.
At the back door. Oh, I think he's just put into touch just before the line.
And good scrambling defence there by Masarewa and Mason Walker from the Overseas Old Boys. Of course, stretching your own attack wide forces the defence to go wide with you, and it creates bigger holes to run into. So, unfortunately, they couldn't quite exploit the space they'd created.
Yeah, I think they were hoping to create a 3-on-2 situation there, but the players stuck to the mark and defended
so Overseas Old Boys exit strategy, good pressure up the middle and going wide. And again, very, very ambitious. Quick throw from King's College. They want to get on with this game. Strong wall of defence there. Ball's coming back inside. The referee's playing advantage, I think, from infringement of that run. Again, choosing to use strength and leg power up the middle. Okay, the player hanging onto the ball on the ground there, so the referee is returning to his earlier advantage. Kings would have conceded the penalty at the ruck, but because he was playing advantage, they gain the benefits of the penalty, electing to kick to touch. Again, still continuous pressure on the Overseas Old Boys. 4 minutes to go in this half. They've spent a lot of it inside their own 22.
I think they've spent pretty much all of it apart from the kickoff.
Nice take. King's College setting for a drive here. Very well structured. The ball's gone across the line, but it's held up in goal.
Yeah, see, I think that's what I always admire about the King's College boys. That they're not afraid to run it or put it up the jumper and go straight down the middle. They seem to have the strength and
they're giving themselves all the options. I think it was the body of number 12, Louis Hazelhurst, there that just prevented the ball from reaching the turf.
I just see there's 3 substitutes there now, made by the A-Trade Overseas Old Boys, bringing some fresh legs. Hopefully get them out there 22.
Well, and all that defending does sap your energy, so it's a good move. They'll need to be sharp though, fit into the defensive pattern straight away here, because King's College scrums look strong, and they've got should have clean ball for their backline here. Referee again playing advantage. Ball knocked down. Okay, the Overseas Old Boys players offside, not being the required 5 metres back, and pretty obvious to the referee there when they weren't behind the goal line, which was the 5 metres.
Do you think the A-Trade Overseas Old Boys might have been thinking going into this game that they're ranked 6th and the King's College boys ranked 10th, that they thought they already had this and come out a bit laid back?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, they have seemed more relaxed to the two teams in this half and less urgent, but they'd be well aware of how Kings performed last year, and they know you can't afford to give away a tight marginal game in this competition, because it just leaves you behind chasing the pack. It's very hard to gain lost ground. The referee penalising the Overseas Old Boys for illegal entry to the side of that maul. Ball coming wide.
Oh.
And they had the extra man, the last defender.
Tried by Paul Durham again.
Yeah, the last defender, Mason Walker, choosing to try and take the intercept and cut it off, but not working.
Sorry, that was actually a try by Jack Campbell for the King's College. Second try of the game for them.
And James Aimson successfully placing the conversion between the uprights.
King's College and UQ lead. A-Trade Overseas Old Boys.
Just over a minute to go in this half, and Overseas Old Boys will be very keen to get points on the board and reverse this trend before half-time. Go into the break with some positive thoughts.
So another deep kick. It's interesting that they're going for this deep kick in game, because quite often you see them try and just get outside that 10-yard line and really compete at the breakdown, but they're they're quite happy just to put him in their 22.
Kenzo Pinnell wise to the tactic then, and face we're very familiar with, a local lad that's been plying his trade in Japan, but clearing with a good kick down the touchline there. Still though, giving away ball to the King's College team, and their set pieces have been efficient, but that throw-in is judged to be not straight by the referee. Scrum to Overseas Old Boys with 40 seconds on the clock. Have they got something special here? Kings have looked very organised to this point in the game, so they might need something special to unlock their defence. Referee playing advantage this time for a scrum infringement by the Kings players. These Old Boys trying to find a way through the middle. Good hands, lovely hands from the big man there. Masarawa just about seeming like he lost his footing. Ball was going to the outside. Oh, the centering kick goes up. And Kings, will they counter-attack from their own goal line?
Looks like they are going to now. He's got a little bit of space to step back inside. Good hand.
Pace
well
and a
done.
strong fend there. And again, great support up the middle.
So it'll be another try now for Jack Campbell.
Yeah. Jock Campbell scores the try after a great breakout from their own goal line, and some very good work done up the middle of the pitch by Kim Hendrickson, feeding the final pass to Jock Campbell, and from going to a position of strength on attack, seeming likely to maybe get a score before half-time, the Overseas Old Boys are rocked by a try at the other end.
It's surprising that they actually went for, when they were in that attacking phase, that was the longest session they've had with the ball in hand, that they opted for a kick in the 22 rather than just trying to keep the ball with them.
Yes, it was, you know, Winger was isolated on the outside. I think he felt he may have been forced into touch, so he chose the centering kick, which is, is not a common thing in rugby these days. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was very familiar with that.
Maybe you've been watching some of your highlights.
sorry, no. We can't quite go back that far to get my highlights.
Surely they had television then.
So again, the Kings boys will be very composed in their huddle. There's no real sort of hand slapping or major urgency on the coach. It's all calm and composed. Things are going according to plan at the moment. They're playing with a strategy and you know, with a good deal of organisation. So obviously, Old Boys, by contrast, look like a team that's pulled together for a one-off occasion. So one of the advantages Kings have got, if they're playing together fairly regularly, they do have familiarity, and in the pressure situations, that's important to know when your teammate's going to be on your shoulder and what your fellow players are likely to be doing.
You can see the difference, because the King College know what lines the boys are hitting, they know how they run, they know their kind of style of play that, as you said, they would have played for a while. Whereas I also think that makes a big difference, because I think for people you're a bit more closer with and play regularly with, you're willing to put that extra yard in or get a little bit of energy from somewhere just to make that gap. And
and they showed with their composure, you know, fielding the kick on their own goal line. They didn't look to panic and kick it straight to touch. They thought, great, this is an opportunity. We've got the ball back. We'll have a crack, and that ended 100 metres later with a try at the other end.
It paid off. But I'm not sure about you, but if I run that far now, I'd have to go off. These legs aren't what they used to be.
I can hit my golf ball that far, but I rarely run that far. Okay, restart the striking locks of Luke Masarawa. Takes the ball into contact, and again, Overseas Old Boys under pressure inside their own 22, not far from their goal line. Blanket of the Kings' defence is making life very, very difficult for them. Quickly over the ball there was number 8, Josh Reara. Unfortunate not to win back possession there. Okay,
King's College boys giving them no space at all, or cutting down their options, hunting in packs, and one's going low, one's straight in there to Jackal, giving them no options to play the ball quickly.
And the referee adjudging the Jackal there to have placed his hands on the pitch, so clearly not supporting his own body weight and giving away the penalty, which gives Overseas Old Boys the opportunity to relieve a bit of that pressure, but still just outside the 22, facing a very organised Kings line-out and needing to come up with a spark to get them back into this game.
King's College win the ball back against the head on that line-out.
Ball push to the outside. Overseas Old Boys trying to force him to touch, bring the 11th man into play. The sideline can be your friend when you're defending.
Penalty there awarded to King's College there. Hitting it straight into the corner, but unfortunately didn't make the touch. And it'll be the A-Trade Overseas Old Boys line out where the kick was taken.
Yeah, unfortunately there, it's one of the risks you take when you get a bit greedy and try and push it right down to the corner. If the ball does go dead in goal, it's a turnover and position goes back to the other team by way of a scrum where you took the kick. It's great that the rugby today can go to a large audience, and many that may not be too familiar with a few of the rules of rugby, and there are many out there, Reece.
Played it for years, I still don't get it, if I'm honest.
Luke Massareo up the wing end, but again, when under pressure, electing to kick, and King's College Old Boys lapping that up. They love getting the possession back. And the Old Boys coming around offside on that ruck, putting pressure on the halfback illegally. Nice little kick through.
Oh, great step.
Well retrieved. Good step by Massareo. The referee must have adjudged that advantage has been gained by King's College Old Boys.
A knock on there awarded to King's College there, back in the 22 of the A-Trade Overseas Old Boys.
And again, disappointing to see that earlier phase where Massareo went up the side, nearly broke free, but instead of bringing it in, tying it up and getting his support players there and restarting the play, he chose to kick, and you just can't give away possession, especially not to an efficient team like this.
No, and I think you just saw him there. He stepped, spun outside on the one tackle. I thought he'd try and do it again. Must have been watching Strictly Come Dancing or something along those lines. But yeah, shame he couldn't come back inside, try and look for one of his players running off him. But again, I think that goes back to the difference of these teams that play together regularly and these sides that just pull together and have their first game.
Yeah, and the scrum wheeling there, so the referee electing to reset it. We've had referees earlier in the day being very, very strict on the scrums and the way they perform. So this time, benefit of the doubt gone to the players, but generally when the scrum wheels that quickly, someone's not quite doing what they're meant to be doing. We'll find the far better scrum this time. King's College taking it into contact again. Flooding the field to the left. Still electing to go up the middle. Tying in more defenders. Trying to create an overlap and space on the outside. And they have created that, but electing again to take contact. Interesting option. They do the hard work and...
there you go. He's got to try.
Got rewarded.
Shannon Goodman, I believe.
And a big man running straight and hard that close to the line is always very difficult to stop.
But it's interesting for young players. They seem to make the right decisions. You know, not throwing out too wide when the options are not on, keeping it in there, drawing in the defence, in the attack, going straight forward, get the numbers in, and then create the opportunities out wide. Yeah,
and the critical thing there, taking it into contact, you need to have your support players behind you to retain possession, because if you go into contact and the Jackal gets in there ahead of the support players, the ball will be turned over. So they're going into contact confident their teammates are there and on their shoulder.
And when they do go into contact, they seem to be placing the ball back well to give their team every opportunity to retrieve that ball and limited the opportunity for the defence side to come in there and jackal at. They seem to be very confident, and I'd say more importantly confident in each other.
Yeah. And Edward Gibson kicking long and wide across
Straight
the
into
sideline
touch,
into touch. So in the rules of 10s, it's a free kick on halfway. One of the areas where the rules vary slightly with 15-a-side rugby that viewers will be familiar with from the World Cup. And again, seeing the difference between these two teams. Old Boys choosing to take it into contact, but not keeping secure possession and turning the ball over through a knock-on.
See that the King's College have brought on one of the Hong Kong Football Club's favourites over here, Mitch Holloway. It'll be his first scrum.
Yeah, Mitch Holloway's made a big impact since he's been here in Hong Kong.
The scrum now just inside the half of the King's College team, using this as a solid platform to attack again.
Again, not stretching the ball wide and exposing themselves. They're confronting, waiting for the right moment. Okay, securing the ball at the breakdown. Again, pushing it wide. Try to stretch the overseas Old Boy defence. In the hands of the winger. A couple of handy steps there from Ben Campbell.
So he tries to force the pass a little bit too much then, and A-Trade overseas Old Boys got the ball now and lost it in the contact area to King's
Strong
College.
tackle, turning over position. Space out wide if they can use it.
Campbell Wakely there being strong on the ball.
Committing a lot of men to the ruck. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it in, restart, get themselves organised again. Okay. Again, support player a little slow to get there that time, but the overseas Old Boys player coming over the top and using his hands to support his body weight, which is not allowed. So King's College were lucky to get away with that. They one of the few times they were short of support in the tackle.
Yeah, because he's straight in there jackling for the ball. And when the whistle went, initially I thought it might have gone to the A-Trade side, but as you said, he wasn't supporting his own body weight. It's interesting, but it's been consistent that the referees seem to be blowing up quite quickly when there's evidence that the player isn't supporting his own weight on that. So that's something that no doubt all the teams will be taking note of for their upcoming games. Yeah,
I think the aim of the referees is to keep the breakdown clean and to allow the ball to be moved away quickly, because the crowd doesn't really come here to see rucks and mauls, and
no,
and they want to see the ball moving out wide, free flowing, and seeing some of these talented runners with the ball in hand and stepping opponents. Good phase of play here by the overseas Old Boys. Again,
just trying to
losing the ball in the tackle.
And there's no need. But again, do you think that's a sign that that's lack of confidence and not being able to hold up and go back to get the players on?
Yeah, and I think it's also a sign that the support runners are struggling to get there in time.
Yeah.
They're not there as early as the King's College players. They
didn't quite make touch there as well.
Tremendous piece of
well
skill there to
there.
retrieve a difficult bouncing ball there. Hands to Luke Masrao again, moving it to the outside. You can be exposed. Nice play off the deck. Okay, strong run there. 3 defenders though. Okay.
So not releasing the tackler there.
Okay, overseas Old Boys, can they, with 9 seconds to go, can they get a token consolation try and get some encouragement for their next outing? Masrao into contact, drew 2 men cleverly. Balls down the outside, again, kicking away position. And the referee judges full time. It's a win to the King's College Old Boys by 19 points to 0.
And it's a strong performance out of the box for University at UQ.
And I think that's just goes to show why the King's College boys were very popular last year. You know, they play a good variety of rugby, not afraid to go straight up the middle, not afraid of physicality, regardless of the size of some of their teams or opponents, but also willing to throw out wide when the opportunity.
We'll see